So why do we forget to celebrate men on International Men's Day, on Father's Day, on the International Day of the Boy Child, and almost everything that has to do with the men? What do you think? I have noticed, not just about people, but even about me, that I have to be more conscious about remembering their birthdays, everything that has to do with them, Men's Day, Father's Day, International Day of the Boy Child, or just of the men. But that of the women is more outspoken, is more, it's louder. So why do we forget? What do you think? So this video is not to put a spite on anybody or anything. It's actually for me. I also forget most of the time. So why do we forget? Let's talk about it. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, it might not be the time for, I'm shooting this video on International Men's Day on November 19th. So whether you see this video on the day or after, that is the best time for you to grab this information to help you to plan for more celebrations to come. But why do we forget to celebrate our men on their special days? Because we celebrate the women more on these days. It's all over the media. It's more out there. It's more shouty. We talk about it. Even if you don't remember, you see it on someone's status. You see it on the media. You see it on social media. So why is men's zone different? What do you think? Pop it on the comment. Let me know. I also want to know, but I just want to share some of the reasons that I think we forget. I think that men should be celebrated. I feel it shouldn't be forgotten. I feel men should be celebrated as much as women are celebrated, and maybe even more, because I feel those people, gender, I think the men, they came with this responsibility up from above. I feel it's inbuilt. I feel it's a lot of responsibility on them. I play with my girlfriends, and when I'm talking to my friends, I said, I don't think I want to be a man. Even if we have an opportunity of coming back to this world, and then God says, which of the gender do you want to be? Do you want to be a man or you want to be a woman? I want to be a man. I still have to come like a woman. I feel it's a lot of responsibility, inbuilt, inborn. Like nobody tells you. You're just born to stand in that place. I feel it's a lot. So I feel every man should be celebrated. Every man should be appreciated. But why do we forget? First of all, I think men don't even celebrate themselves. Come on, let's talk about it. I feel men wait to be celebrated. But women don't wait to be celebrated. They would ask for it. They will celebrate themselves. They will shout about it. What do you think? Because when it comes to Women's Day, when it comes to Mother's Day or International Day of the Girl Child, anything that has to do with the women folks, they shout about it themselves. You see them post, even if they're not celebrating themselves, it's either they're celebrating their mothers, they're celebrating their aunties, they're celebrating their mentors, they're celebrating the women in their lives. But men are waiting for people to celebrate them. It's just a thought. So let's talk about it. Let me hear from you. But I feel women celebrate themselves more, and so that's why it's more obvious. That is why it's more outspoken. That's why it's more out there in the media. Because when it comes to Men's Day, you see them all on their media. We can't see anything. We can't see anything. We're not seeing anything. And then they're all gloomy. And then what you hear them say is that, oh, they're not remembering us. If it's Women's Day, it's all over there. But there are men in your lives that you should celebrate. Is that not so? There are men in your life that you should also celebrate. And if every man is celebrating every man in their lives, come on, it will be out there. Nobody will have to forget, Well, that's by the side. And it's just lighthearted to say, I feel we forget more, or we are likely to forget, because even the men are not celebrating themselves. They're not celebrating other men. Possibly, or what do you think? Do you think that it's a men or it's a gender issue. Maybe men do not really talk about these things, or men just wait for you to, talk, or just wait for you to celebrate them. What do you think? I think that's one reason why we, why we forget. But let's forgive the men. Have men in your lives. You have a husband, you have a father, you have a son. No matter how isolated you are, there is definitely a man in your life. A man must have given birth to you with a woman, right? You have a brother. You must have a man figure in your life. So I think it's high time we actually step out to say, well, excuses or no excuses, we're going to celebrate these blessings from God. So I'm going to be sharing some ways you can celebrate these men in your life. So first of all, I think is saving those dates. I know we celebrate our men every day. Someone like me, it gets a little bit complex when I'm trying to plan something to say, okay, I want to celebrate my husband or celebrate my dad, especially with the closest men in my life, like my husband. I take out time. I don't wait for, special days to say, oh, I celebrate you. This is what you do. We do notes. I send messages, just random messages to just say, oh, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being this. Thank you for being the best father to our children. Thank you for being the best husband. Thank you for being that man, the only man that can marry me. I do that randomly, just anytime. Sometimes I'll just, take a break at work and just send a message. I'll just think, oh, thank you for doing this. I just send a message. So it gets complex. And you now say, okay, what will you now do on special days? But first thing is planning. Be intentional. Save the dates on the calendar. I didn't do that this year. And I got myself into a fix. I planned birthday. I planned anniversary. I planned Father's Day, but I didn't plan for International Men's Day. I just had it somewhere in my head. I said, I'll remember November 19th. And there you go. November 19th came, so I'm actually doing this video like will I say confession, to say, why do we forget? So first of all, it's saving it into your diary, pop into your diary, or save it on your calendar, put an alarm to say, okay, a week to, or 3 days to, or 24 hours to. And on that day, even though you've been sending sweet texts to your father, to your husband, to that man in your life, let it be. I think when something special comes that day, it gets to be more appreciated. To say, okay, this person actually remembered to say, Happy International Men's Day to me, or to say Happy Father's Day to me. So it carries weight for you to remember on that day. So I think it's kind of trying to, excuse ourselves to say, oh, I don't wait for special days to do this. I appreciate the men in my life every day, so it doesn't have to be a special day. No, it has to be a special day. It's just like telling my husband telling me that, oh, I don't have to wait for your birthday to buy you a gift, because I buy you gifts on every other day. I remember I always tell myself, those gifts you bought for me, not even if you bought me a gift on the day before my birthday, it doesn't cover. The one on that day has to come that day, If you agree with me, let me see it on the comments. It has to come on that day. It comes special when it comes that day. So like I said, first off, save the date, save the time, plan for it, get intentional with it. So, second way, or another way you can celebrate the men in your lives on this special date, it's sending them a word of affirmation, a message to appreciate them, and list what they are good at. Thank you for doing this. Don't just say, oh, I appreciate you, or make it vague, especially the people that are important in your lives. Count your blessing. Actually say, you're passionate about this. List their passion. In what ways have they impacted you? This is your husband. This is your father, your uncle, your mentor, your guardian, your pastor, or your boss in the office. Thank you for adding this to my life, for impacting me in this way. So actually spell it out. As simple as that message is, it goes a long way to tell them they are loved, they are appreciated, and they are thought of, especially on a special day like that. So words of affirmation, let's give it a go. You can plan. Another thing is that you can plan a small surprise, no matter how small. I am a big lover of surprises. Like, there was a time that almost everything I do has to be a surprise. I don't like, even if you want to buy me the best car in the world, when you tell me you're going to buy it, it just kind of waters down the effect and the emotion. But it comes like a surprise. So however small it is, even if it's a pack of chocolates or it's a drink or a bottle of wine, how it's not how much it is, but the thought that comes with it. Even if it's a simple card, a handwritten card or a handwritten note, but it has to be dedicated to that special occasion, that special day, to say, this is what I am getting for you. And it takes a lot to think about someone and, and prepare something to say, this is how much I appreciate you. So plan for the dates on the calendar, make set an alarm, remember the day. You can send a word of affirmation. You can plan a surprise. Acknowledge their passions, acknowledge the ways they've been beneficial to your life, that they've blessed you, or that they've impacted you, or that they've loved you. Men are important in our lives. You can't do without appreciating your spouse on special days or on special dates. So we should actually move from special dates to just randomly. But if you've not overcome these special dates, why would you just wake up in the morning to say, oh, I want to just do this thing special for my husband or for my wife or for my dad? So this is actually like the first one. On their special dates, their birthdays, their anniversaries. So whenever you're watching this video, you have no excuse again. You have to remember the dates in your spouse's life, your wife's life, your husband's life. But this video is especially for the men. So men, I'm rooting for you. Thank you for being awesome in our lives. Thank you for doing the school runs, for giving birth to us. I'm rooting for my dad, my father-in-law, my brother. Send them a message. After this video, I'm going to send a message to my brother-in-law, to my brother, to my father, to my uncle, to my pastor. That's after I send to my husband. So please, you can do that before the day runs out, or whenever you see this, even if it's after the International Men's Day, still send them a message to say, woo, I appreciate you in my life and I appreciate what you've done. So appreciation is the key to go. If you watch this video to this time, thank you for watching. And if you've not subscribed, consider doing it. On this channel, I share everything about relationships, about family, and about marriage. I'll see you in my next video.